We begin tonight with people across the world voicing their anger with the Trump administration at today's No King protests. Fox 13's Shira Matsuzawa was in Seattle for the largest rally in our area.
100,000 people were expected at today's rally. The crowd was so big, you couldn't even see where it ended.
When I say ice, you say ow.
Gathered at Cal Anderson Park, armed with signs and strong in their convictions, thousands of people spent their Saturday like this, rallying at Saturday's No Kings protest. Organizers say this is their way of asserting their First Amendment rights and pushing back against authoritarianism.
If we don't use our rights, we lose them. So this is really important to just come out and assert that we have the right to free speech, peaceful assembly, and that we demand that our government represent us and not the oligarchs.
No hate, no war, no kings.
Attorney General Nick Brown was among the speakers.
I do not fear Donald Trump. Do you fear Donald Trump? Do you fear Donald Trump? Hell no. Seeing mothers arrested, little children in detention facilities. This is not America. This is racism in the name of patriotism.
Brent Bauer came to make his voice heard because he says he doesn't like what he's seeing in our country.
Just tired of everything happening that we don't want to happen and that does not represent America, including the latest, which is the war in Iran.
I hate what ICE has done. I'm very worried about the government and how many people are getting hurt. We're also from Canada, and we should all be friends.
As the flags in the crowd waved, each person holding one rallied for change.
We want this nonsense to stop as soon as possible.
Once the crowd rallied here, they then marched to the Space Needle. And organizers tell me this was just one of 60 No Kings rallies that happened across the Puget Sound on Saturday. In Seattle, Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.
And our crews were also in downtown Everett, where rally goers held signs as some took to the stage to raise their voices. Participants are calling out the Trump administration on issues including immigration enforcement, abortion rights, and the rule of law. Many said they fear they're losing their constitutional rights.
I grew up in this country with freedoms that I probably wasn't as grateful for as I should be. And now when I see them going away, and I'm not talking this past week, it's been years, but at this point when it's happening so quickly, it has to be stopped.
Gas prices and the war in Iran were also major issues on the minds of many of the protesters who we spoke with at today's rally. Now, from New York to the nation's capital, as many as 10 million people are expected to take to the streets for this weekend's No Kings event. The protests also happened outside of the country in places like Italy. Fox 13 talking to news reporter C.B. Cotton, who's digging into what is bringing people out of their homes for this protest.
From large-scale rallies to small ones, protests are taking place across the nation, part of the No Kings movement aimed at the Trump administration.
No Kings is more than a slogan. It's a reminder that power belongs to the people. All of us.
It's the third edition of the rallies since President Trump's return to the office. And this time around, organizers predict it could be one of the largest demonstrations in U.S. history. According to them, more than 3,100 events are taking place across all 50 states, with more than 9 million people signing up to protest. From New York City to Washington, D.C. to Minneapolis, protesters say they're fed up with President Trump. According to a recent Reuters Ipsos poll, Trump's approval rating dropped to a 36% low this month.
We're tired of Donald Trump acting like a king and a dictator.
And while the No Kings protests aren't centered on a single specific demand, they do bring attention to a wide range of grievances voiced by demonstrators.
We never consented to our tax dollars being used to fund war crimes.
It comes as airports across the country are seeing hours-long security lines triggered by TSA staffing declines as the Department of Homeland Security remains unfunded.
We've had, by some estimates, close to 500 TSA agents who have resigned from their jobs, and who could blame them?
TSA agents could get paychecks as soon as Monday after President Trump signed an executive action to pay them, despite Congress's stalemate on ending the partial shutdown. In New York, C.B. Cotton, Fox News.